Hello and welcome to my tarot reading live party. So I see there's no one joining me because I had some technical difficulties. I originally scheduled a live video, and then couldn't broadcast live in that spot. So people showing up, awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to see if I can find the URL for this video, or maybe this is working. Okay, let's see here. Oh, there's lots of people showing up. Okay, I think I'm doing it right. Just out of curiosity, you guys, the ones who are typing comments, are you the people that were waiting for me at the other spot? I just want to make sure that this is working properly. Okay. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Okay, I'm just going to quickly post in the other one. Okay, I just posted a weird comment. I don't know if that's going to show up or not. Okay, looks like a lot of people. Perfect. Okay. Oh, great. There's so many people here. This is so exciting. Oh, good. Okay, it's working perfectly, just as I'd planned. Awesome. Okay. There's always some technical snafu whenever I do a live event. So I expect it now, and I don't get rattled anymore. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here live with me. I love doing these live events, and I'm so excited to do some one-card readings for you guys. I'm going to be using the my favorite deck right now is the Everyday Witch Tarot. So I'm just going to give it a shuffle, and I'm just going to read some of your lovely comments. Hi, Lisa, Dawn, Rebecca. I just dropped half my cards here. Welcome, Holly. You said you're a new subscriber. Melanie. Hey. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just shuffling my deck. I'm going to do, I'm going to kill two birds with one stone here, and I'm going to do my usual 3-card weekly forecast reading, but I'm going to do it live. And then we'll dive into the personal 1-card readings. Okay, so I'm shuffling my cards, and I'm going to draw a card for the upcoming week for Monday and Tuesday. And the card we got is the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so Page of Pentacles. What I love about the pages is they are students. They are the students in the tarot deck. So the beginning of the week is a really good time to learn something new, or to sign up for a course or read a new book on a new topic or something like that. It feels like one way that we can really light up our lives and get that feeling of enthusiasm and energy and freshness is to learn something new this week. And because this is the Page of Pentacles, this card also has to do with money, the body, your relationship to your body, food, health, those kinds of areas. So when it comes to learning something new, you might want to learn something new, like learning a new recipe, learning a new way to cook, learning a new way of eating, being healthy, exercising, things like that. Okay, so that's Monday and Tuesday. And then as we get into the middle of the week, we've got, Death. Really intense card here, number 13. So Wednesday, Thursday, we have the Death card. So this is really about kind of cutting away any loose ends or tying up any loose ends, letting go of something. It's really a card of transition. It's a sign that there are things in your life that you need to sort of take care of, you need to let go of, you need to release in order to make room for something new. And I'm getting the sense that a lot of us are really craving something new in our lives, something fresh. And for me, I have this urge to learn something new, to take up a new hobby or to start researching something new. But for you, it might be a little bit different. But midweek is a good time to kind of reassess, where you're at. And if there's anything in your life that feels really stagnant, or if there's anything that's taking an enormous amount of energy or effort to maintain. And really kind of reassessing that and asking yourself, is this something I want to continue doing? Is this something I want to keep in my life? Or do I need to cut my losses and move on? Okay, so I'm going to draw one more card. This is the card for the end of the week, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Ooh, Seven of Swords. Okay. So Seven of Swords, I often see this as a card of authenticity, and it will sometimes come up when you need to be more authentic and honest with yourself about who you are and what you want and what is important to you. The woman in this card is almost, it looks like she's sort of tiptoeing through this room, and she's clutching these swords to her, and she just looks like she's trying to be sneaky about something. So you might want to ask yourself, not this weekend, but this is the card for next weekend. Next weekend is a time to really be honest with yourself and ask yourself, is there anything that I'm trying to hide from myself or hide from others? What am I not comfortable showing to others? What am I not comfortable admitting to myself? And this is kind of the first step in being honest with yourself and getting to a place of living from a place of greater authenticity and truth. Okay, so all together, so these three cards together, and I always like to look for like repeating patterns or repeating themes. And I'm actually just going to have to turn them around to look at them here. Nothing is standing out to me. There does seem to be, I almost feel like this week we're going to be at a crossroads. And I say that because my attention is drawn. I don't know if my camera's sharp enough, if you can see this or not, but there's this two swords making the shape of an X, and it makes me think of kind of being in like a crossroads. And here we see there's a sign. He's kind of at a crossroads here. And then with the Death card, there's one door that's closed and another door is just open, ajar. And I feel like this really represents kind of being in a place of transition and trying to decide, which path to take, which direction to go in, what to let go of, what to go toward, what to embrace. So that has been your weekly tarot card reading. So I hope you found that helpful. I'm just going to pop on over to the comments here and have a peek. So if you would like for me to draw you a card, I know there's quite a few people here. Oh my goodness, there's 71 people. Yeah, there's a lot of people here. So if you would like me to draw you a card, just let me know in the comments. So I am going to give Lisa, thank you, Lisa. I'm going to give you a reading. And I can't remember, Lisa, if you had any specific questions. I know you posted earlier, but there's so many comments. I don't think I can find your original post. Oh, I see. I would love a card about self-care. Okay, perfect. Okay. Okay, Lisa. So drawing a card. What do you need to know about self-care? Three of Pentacles. Okay. Okay, so I know there's a bit of glare here. My lighting isn't the best for this video. Okay, so you've got the Three of Pentacles. So this is interesting. Three of Pentacles can often represent being able to, how do I word this? Whenever I see this card, I think of when you're doing some kind of work that just feels so in alignment with who you are. It's like when you're doing something that is totally reflective of your gifts, your talents, your values, and the things that you enjoy. And it can feel like that work isn't really work at all. There's a certain kind of like wholesomeness to it. Like compare that kind of work to doing the other kind of work where you're working in a job that you hate, that you just don't care about. You're just doing it for a paycheck, nothing else. those jobs are so draining, and they're draining on like a soul level. Whereas doing this other kind of work where you're really using your talents and your natural gifts and your abilities, and everything that you're doing is in line with your values, that kind of work is something that really nourishes your soul. So in terms of self-care, I think it's hard for me to kind of give you specific advice based on this, but I'm guessing with what I've said, there's probably a message in there for you about, paying attention to the kind of work you do, and asking yourself, is this work in alignment with who I am and what I love? There's also this theme, this element of teamwork. So there's 3 people on this card, and it looks like one person is doing the painting. Well, 2 people are kind of doing the painting. One person's standing back and looking at it. And it's this idea that, don't try to do everything on your own. There's people that can help you. And there's something really almost, I don't want to say healing, but there's something that feels good sometimes about working in a team. And sometimes it can be hell, sometimes it can be horrible. But this card depicts the best case scenario. So in terms of self-care, don't try to do everything on your own, and tap into other people's genius. Ask people for inspiration, ask people to help you, and to get together with people and brainstorm and bounce ideas off each other, because that's going to really help you with your self-care. So I hope that made sense, Lisa. Okay. Wow. There's lots of, I see. Okay. You feel like yeah, that makes sense, Lisa. I'm just reading your comment about how you feel like you work alone a lot, and I'm the same way. I work alone a lot too, and sometimes it's nice to just get together with people who are similar to you, like have their own business, and they're an entrepreneur, they're working on their own, and just kind of bounce ideas off them and get together for coffee and talk about stuff. It can make you feel less alone. Okay. So who else wants a 1-card reading? Looks like lots of people do. Okay, so I'm going to just scrolling up here. Okay, I'm going to give a reading to okay, Jessie K. I would love a general card for my birthday next Friday. Ooh, well, happy birthday to you, Jessie. So I'm going to shuffle my deck, draw a card for you. Okay, 7 of Swords again. Okay, so Jessie, you got the 7 of Swords. And so I already talked a little bit about this card in the beginning. I don't know if you were here, but I talked about how it represents authenticity and being honest with yourself about what you want and all that. But it's really about having the courage to live your life out loud and to really be who you are, and don't be afraid to be who you are, and to really share yourself with the world, share yourself with others. Whenever this card comes back, it can indicate feeling like you need to hold back a little bit, feeling like you need to keep things under wraps. And sometimes you do. There's always a time where it's maybe wise to be that way. And then there's times where it's okay to just be open, to be who you are. And the 7 of Swords is saying, you may not have to be as secretive and as closed in as you think you need to be. So this may be about sort of being honest with yourself or your friends, your family about something. I'm not sure specifically what it means, but it seems to be encouraging you to not be afraid to really be who you are and to live your life out loud, and don't feel like you need to tiptoe and kind of sneak through life. You can really be who you are and pursue what you feel is important to you. Okay. So I'm going to do a reading for Lisa B. And Lisa Blanton, you would like a general reading. Okay, that is easy. Okay. And I apologize, I'm not going to be able to read for everyone. Annika Martin. That name sounds so familiar. Annika Martin. Are you a writer by any chance, Annika? I know there's a writer called Annika Martin. Okay. So this one is for Lisa B. So Lisa, you got 10 of Swords. And 10 of Swords is one of those tarot cards that when you first get it, you think, oh, shitty, 10 of Swords, because it's such an intense looking card. This is about, what I'm getting from this card for you is about really letting go of the urge to blame someone or something. So if there's something you want to do, something you want to have, somewhere you want to go, and you feel like it's really difficult or you feel like something is stopping you, there may be a temptation to blame someone or to blame something for that. And this card is really encouraging you to let go of that. Let go of any resentment that you may be holding. The resentment is what's going to really suck your energy and pin you down. The sooner you can let go of resentment, let go of any any, even like if someone betrayed you in the past or something just did not go as planned and you're holding on to that resentment, the sooner you can address it and look at that resentment, question it, and let it go as much as you can, the sooner you're going to free up your energy and the sooner you're going to be able to move on and to kind of get back on track. Okay. Also, in a more literal interpretation, this card can sometimes symbolize acupuncture and exploring that avenue. So I don't know if that resonates or not. Okay, so I'm just gonna have a sip of my tea here. Oh, Annika, you answered my question. Oh, okay, you're not the writer I'm thinking of. There's a writer and she writes like really smutty stuff, and I like some of her smutty novels. And I thought her name was Annika Martin, but maybe it's Annika something else. I'm not sure. So I thought, oh, is that? I wondered if it was you. Okay. So next I'm going to do a reading for. Oh, Jesse, you got back to me and you said my reading resonated with you. Good, thanks. That's good to hear. Okay, so I'm going to give a reading to Shiraz. Shiraz says, can you please tell me about my new work? Okay, so what do you need to know about your new work? Let's see what card comes up. Seven of Pentacles. So Seven of Pentacles is all about patience and being easy on yourself. So being patient, giving yourself time to kind of get your footing in this new job, to figure out the ropes, figure out who's who and all that weird like office politics or whatever. I don't know if you work in an office, maybe you don't, but it takes some time to kind of get your footing, get a sense of where you work and who you get along with and who you work well with and all that. So be patient. I also feel like the message here is about enjoying this process. I think sometimes it can be stressful being, starting a new job, but this card is about not only taking your time, but enjoying this time. So kind of savoring it and making it as enjoyable as you can. And one thing that I get when I look at this card is it shows a woman and she's harvesting grapes. She's picking these grapes and she has a glass of wine with her. And the wine is like the end product. And when you think about all the steps, all the processes that goes into making wine, it's, you've got to plant the grape arbors. They take forever to grow up, years. And then once you pick the grapes, you harvest them, they ferment. It takes, a really long time. And if you don't have a genuine enthusiasm for winemaking, you're going to give up, right? So I feel like this is an interesting metaphor for your work. It's like work on cultivating patience and enthusiasm for your work. Okay. Just scrolling down the comments. Okay, so Nicole says, pretty please, may I have a general reading? And you did some really cute heart thingies there that look really pretty. So Nicole, I'm going to give you a reading. Okay. Okay. So Nicole, you got 5 of Pentacles. And 5 of Pentacles is another card where when I first turn it over, I'm like, oh, it's the 5 of Pentacles. But the 5 of Pentacles is actually a really interesting card. It can symbolize feeling like you're on the outside looking in. And I often see this card as coming up as a reminder that oftentimes we feel more alone than we actually are. So ask yourself, are you isolating yourself? And is there anything that you can do right now in your life that would help you connect with others, that would help you kind of come in from the cold and connect with another person in some way? Another thing I get with this card is it's like you're sort of trying to find your own way right now. And I say that because this figure has, she's holding up a lantern and she's kind of maneuvering through the snow towards this tavern or house that's lit up. And I feel like this is about finding your way and not being afraid to really shine your light and to, connect with your inner light. And I think sometimes we shy away from doing this because sometimes it feels almost unnatural to be so happy or to feel so filled with light when things around us aren't going well. But I feel like the real message here is to not be afraid to really shine your light, to shine your inner light, to be who you are, to find your way. And also it's kind of a reminder that you're not as alone or as isolated as you may feel. So I hope that made sense. Let me know, Nicole, if it doesn't make sense, because I would be interested to know. Okay, I'm going to shuffle my deck again. And while I'm shuffling, and while I have you all here, captive audience, I'm going to let you know about my upcoming tarot course. So I have a 4-week online tarot course coming up. It's called Reading Tarot for Others. And registration closes on Monday. So you still have a couple of days left to sign up for it if you're interested. It runs for the entire month of May. And it's a really fun course. And it will get you ready to read for others. And if you're already reading for others, it will help you become super confident. And it will give you all kinds of awesome skills and make you a top-notch reader. So I'm going to post the link to my course. Okay, I just posted it. So if anyone is interested, check it out. And, oh, weird, I don't see my link. I posted it and now I can't find it. Oh, there it is. Okay. So yeah, check it out and let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so I'm going to draw a card for Gardenom. So Gardenom says, hi, Kate, I want a man. How is it looking for me? Okay, I like that question. Okay, so let's draw a card. Oh, Knight of Cups. That's a good card to get. So because you asked about finding a man, and then here is a man, I feel like this could be like a potential person that may be coming into your life soon. So I'm going to talk about the personality traits of this person, and you can let me know if this sounds like the kind of man you want or not. So the Knight of Cups is actually very romantic. And because I am not a romantic person, I'm a Virgo and I'm very practical and somewhat analytical, I always kind of judge this knight harshly, and I think he's a little bit of a flake because, he's the kind of guy who probably likes reading poetry and doing romantic things, and that's just not my thing. But it may be your thing. So the Knight of Cups is the kind of character who he's very at home with being romantic and expressing his feelings. Like he doesn't have a hard time saying how he feels and saying that he, really likes you and all that kind of stuff. He is the kind of guy who also, because he's a knight, he has kind of a restless spirit. He's a bit of a wanderer. And I don't mean that he's not faithful, but he craves adventure and he craves newness. He's an adventurous kind of guy. So he's the kind of guy who, you won't have to twist his arm to get him to like go out dancing and do things like that. What else do I want to say about him? He's very idealistic. So he has, the downside is he may have a set of expectations and ideals that he, wants you to live up to. However, he holds up his end of the bargain, and he is a very compassionate, warm, loving kind of character who likes to do things and likes to take you out on dates and stuff like that. Okay. Elton says he enjoys foreplay. Okay, yeah, that kind of goes with what I said, I guess. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do a reading for Music AC. Just because you said, me, draw one for me. Okay, I'm going to shuffle my deck again. Okay, so Music AC, you got 7 of Wands. Okay, we've got a few 7s so far. 7 of Wands. This is about almost feeling like you need to prove yourself, like you need to stand your ground and really kind of stand up for yourself and prove your worth or prove your strength. So I don't know if this is related to your work, your career, or if it's related to a relationship or a friendship or something like that. But it kind of feels like you would do best right now to really stand your ground. Don't back down. Like stand up for what you think is right, for what you believe in. Don't be afraid to be assertive today or even this weekend or next week. Don't be afraid to really stand with 2 feet firmly planted on the ground and to be assertive. This isn't about being aggressive. It's not even about being competitive, but it's about knowing your own worth, recognizing your own abilities and your own value, and having the assertiveness and the confidence to really stand up for yourself. Don't take any shit from anyone. Okay. Oh, Lisa, you asked me if I've ever thought about creating my own tarot deck. Yeah, I have. I'm really lazy. And it seems like it would be a lot of work. But a friend of mine, we were recently talking about this, and she had an idea for creating a deck. So we talked about working on it together, which I think would be fun. I think if I was going to create my own deck, I'd want to do it with another person, just because I sometimes have a hard time being motivated doing something on my own. I don't know what kind of a deck it would be, though, or what theme it would be. Okay, so Halsey says, I've been a follower of yours for a very long time. So Halsey, do you want me to draw a card for you? You didn't ask, or maybe you did earlier and I missed it. So if you want me to draw you a card, let me know and I will. Okay. Okay, so Annika Martin, you would love a card before you go to bed. Okay, I'm going to draw one for you. So Annika. Oh, 5 of Pentacles. Weird. This card already showed up for us. Okay, so 5 of Pentacles. I feel like, to me it seems like there's something that you want to explore or something that you want to belong to. Now, the reason I say that is I'm looking at this house in the background that has the windows are glowing. And it's like that represents something that you want to get inside, something that you want to explore. So that could be a particular hobby or interest. It could be a club. It could be a group of people. It could be like a university you want to get into, a job that you want, something that you feel like you need to be accepted into, or that it's going to take a little bit of effort to get into that thing. Or this could just represent a goal that you have that you're trying to achieve. And I feel like in order to achieve that thing, in order to get what you want, it's about believing that you're worthy. And really, kind of as cheesy as this sounds, like believing in yourself and believing that you can do it. And really feeling worthy is the first step, though, recognizing that you can do this, that you deserve this, that you are worthy of this. That is the number one first step. It's almost like once you get over that hurdle in your mind, everything else is kind of smooth sailing after that. Yeah, so I hope that made sense. Okay. All right. Ooh, these comments are going so fast I can hardly read them. I wish I could pause them. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle my deck one more time. And okay, I'm going to do this reading for Kristen Holt. So Kristen, you say you would like a reading about leaving your current job. Oh, thanks for saying you like my videos. Okay, Kristen, and I recognize your name. I think I don't know if you've been in one of my classes before, but I recognize your name. Maybe you were at my last live event. I'm not sure. Okay, so what do you need to know about leaving your job? Oh, 3 of Pentacles. Okay. This is funny because the last week I did a live event on Facebook, and this kept happening. I kept like redrawing cards, like the same cards kept coming up again and again. So we've already seen this card at least once, 3 of Pentacles. So this is interesting. I often associate this card with work and with career, but I usually associate it with like finding the right job. So in terms of what do you need to know about leaving your current job, this could be about finding a career to go to. So finding the right job for you to go to. I think that will make the transition a lot easier. It will make it a lot easier for you if you have a job to go to that you're excited about. I also think of this card as being about self-employment. So I don't know if that's something that you're thinking of, if you're thinking of starting your own business or going out on your own. The advice that I have for you is to consult others about making this move. So whether you're thinking of starting your own business or going to another job, consulting others in that field to learn as much as you can about it. And I want to say like consult with an expert or something like that. I just feel like don't make this decision all on your own. Get support and get some input from those around you that you really trust and whose opinion you respect. Okay. Hopefully that made sense. And good luck, Kristen, leaving your current job. It's always exciting when you leave a job and do something new. Okay. Okay, so Monopoly feels their creativity is blocked. What's in the cards? Okay, so how can you unblock your creativity? Okay, Monopoly. So you got 4 of Wands. I love it. 4 of Wands is all about connecting with your community, doing something in your community. It's almost like you feel a disconnect. It's like you feel somewhat isolated, like you're not totally connected to those around you. And I think it's so easy in, in modern times to be disconnected. We're all pretty disconnected in a lot of ways. But this is about making an effort to connect with others in your immediate community, not online communities, but like face-to-face interactions. And I feel like if you focus a little bit on having more of those in-person interactions, that's going to really boost your creativity. This could also be about joining some kind of group of like-minded people. So joining I don't know, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, like joining some kind of like art class or club or something like that of people that are kind of similar to you, have some similar interests. I think that's something that is going to really spark your creativity. Okay. So Andy, you ask if going to university would be the right choice for you. Okay. Let's see what the tarot has to say about that. Knight of Swords. I would say in a lot of ways, yes. So the Knight of Swords, he's the most intense out of all the knights. He's about being able to really focus, to tune out distractions. And it's like once he has his eyes set on a goal, he just goes for it. So I think ask yourself this idea of going to university. How enthusiastic about it do you feel? Do you feel like this is something that you can totally focus on and give it your all? Is this something that fills you with energy? When you think about going to university, do you feel really revved up, or do you just feel like it's something you should do, that's something you're supposed to do? I'm a little bit biased here because when anyone asks me if I think they should go to university, I'm so biased and I want to say no, just because just how in debt people get when they go to university. And so I was like, oh my God, don't go in debt. Like, don't screw yourself financially just to get a degree. But that's just my own bias. That's just what I'm saying. But this Knight of Swords, I think, is telling you that if you choose to go to university, you will most likely have what it takes to pull it off. I think you're the kind of person who is able to really focus and get stuff done. One other thing I want to say, though, is it's almost like you need to get like this particular knight has like a bird's eye view. He's like flying in the air, and down below there's a stream and some hills and stuff. And it's almost like you need to get perspective on your life. It's like you need to take a step back, look at your life as a whole, and really get a sense of where you are and where you want to go, and get that kind of bird's eye view where you're able to kind of detach a little bit, step back and look at things and ask yourself, does going to university fit into this? Does this make sense for me? So I know I didn't really give you a concrete answer, but I hope that hope that made sense. Okay. Oh my goodness, so many comments. Okay. Sign. You say, sorry, I missed your YouTube live. I've surrendered my social media, so I'm really happy you're doing YouTube live. I would love a reading. Your name is actually Cynthia. Okay, Cynthia, I'm going to draw a card for you. Okay. So Cynthia, you got Page of Swords. Okay. So the message of this card is, you know enough right now. Now it's about taking action. Don't get stuck in that trap of feeling like you need to learn more, like you need to take another course, like you need to buy another book. You actually have a lot of knowledge right now. And the thing is, taking action and experimenting and trying something new, you learn so much just from doing that. Like there's a lot of learning involved. There's such thing as book learning, and there's such thing as book learning, and then there's like experiential learning. And it kind of feels like you may be tempted to like do more book learning just because that feels comfortable and familiar. But this is saying, no, get outside of your comfort zone. Get out there, take action, try something, put yourself out there. There's also this real sense of you being ready to kind of step forward into your life and take the bull by the horns and really kind of be proactive and I almost get kind of like an ace-like energy with this card. Normally when the aces come up, I say it's all about new beginnings, and I'm actually getting kind of an ace-like vibe with this card. It's like you're on this sort of precipice of starting this new phase. So I hope that made sense, Cynthia. Next, I'm going to give a reading to Stacy Lamb. Thank you, Stacy. Okay, so I'm just shuffling my deck here. And Stacy, I don't know if you have a specific question. Yeah, I don't see you asking a specific question. Okay, so I'm just going to draw a card for you. Five of Pentacles. Okay, I almost feel like I should draw two cards for you because I feel like this card has come up so much. So I'm going to draw a second card as well, and we'll read these two cards together. Okay. King of Swords. So you got King of Swords and Five of Pentacles. So two kind of what I would call, they kind of have a serious sort of vibe to them. So let's start with the King of Swords. Let's talk about him first. I feel like he's advising you to channel a certain aspect of your personality. And this is the part of you that is analytical, that is kind of rational minded, the part of you that is confident and organized. He's saying, you know, get organized, and really don't be afraid to stand up for yourself and to demand more from some of the people in your life. And I often think of this card as being related to like signing contracts, just because he's got this book open, he's pointing to it, like something about signing something or making something official. And I'm getting the sense that this is it's also about setting goals for yourself and taking those goals seriously, whether that means you write them down, whether you make a contract for yourself about something you're going to work on, something that you're going to do. He also is advising you to do more research. Just like for the last reading, I told the person to stop focusing on book learning, but this Knight of Swords seems to be encouraging it for you. And he said, you can never research something too much. And he seems to be really encouraging you to get more information or more knowledge about something before you commit to anything. So before you sign any contracts, before you make any commitments, do more research and really know what you're doing. And then the next card is Five of Pentacles. And again, I get this sense of kind of like being on the outside looking in. It's like there's somewhere that you want to be, somewhere that you want to get to, but you're struggling to get there. It's like something is standing in your way. And I think in a lot of ways, this King of Swords is providing kind of guidance and information as to how you can get to where you want to go. And it's about really having confidence in yourself. And I think that's what I said last time I read this card. It's about really being able to believe in yourself and see yourself as worthy and capable. And it's about really channeling that confidence and seeing yourself as a powerful person who is really smart, who has a powerful mind and is able to learn new things, and someone who has a really sharp wit. I'm just seeing if there's anything else here. I think that's it. Yeah, so I hope that made sense. And thank you so much, Stacy, for letting me read for you. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle my cards again. Okay, Jackie Z. You said, please pick me. I really want a card. I want a card before I go to bed. Okay. So Jackie, what do you need to know right now before you go to bed? The Emperor. Okay. Okay. I locked my cat in downstairs while I did this YouTube live because she started meowing as soon as I was getting things set up, and I can hear her, and she's leaping against the door trying to get out. Oh, Merlina. Okay. She would love to be in this video right now. Okay, so you've got the Emperor. Now, the message of the Emperor is to really, I want to say step into your own power, but that's not it. The Emperor is a maverick. He is kind of a rebel. And I know a lot of us don't think of the Emperor as being a rebel, but he's all about making his own rules, living life on his own terms, and figuring things out for himself. So he's not the kind of guy who is going to, ask others, what should I do? Or what do you think of this? He knows what he wants and he goes out and he does it. And he's not the kind of guy who follows the well-trodden path. He likes to forge ahead and forge his own path in a lot of ways. So what does it mean for you, Jackie? It means don't be afraid to do your own thing. And don't be afraid to live life by, your own set of rules. And, don't be afraid to basically really kind of stand with 2 feet on the ground and, do your own thing. This card is also, I also get a sense of like making plans. He's got this like astrology kind of chart laid out. And with whatever plans you're making right now, check in with yourself and ask yourself, is this what I want? Is this in alignment with, my own value system and what I really want to create for myself? Or am I just going along with someone else's plans? And there's this great quote, and I forget who said it, but it's like, always make your own plans. Don't just fall, make your own life plan. Don't fall into someone else's plan, because what someone else may have planned for you is probably not going to be very good. So take matters into your own hands. Okay, so this next reading I'm going to do for Zenobia. And Zenobia, you ask, will I have children? I'm starting meds soon and I want to know. Okay, so I don't know if are you starting meds to have children, or are the meds unrelated? I will draw you a card based on that question of children. I'll see what the tarot has to say about it. Okay, you got Justice. Justice is a tricky card. It's interesting. I'm not getting a clear yes or no with this card. And whoops. I'm just going to write something down. Sorry. Okay. So looking at this card and asking about motherhood and whether you have children, Justice is one of those cards that I always struggle with when I'm doing a reading. I think everyone has one or two of those cards in the tarot. For me, Justice is one of them. So Justice is about balance. It's about weighing your options. It's about being impartial and almost like making a judgment not based on your emotion, but based almost on kind of rationality alone. And I guess what I'm seeing here and what I want to ask you is, is there any doubts that you're wrestling with? Is there any like choice that you're struggling to make? And I say this because I'm looking at the scales. So there's 2 scales here. And on one scale, there's a white cat, and on one scale, there's a black cat. And they seem to be battling. They seem to be fighting. So is there anything that you're struggling with in terms of decisions? That's something that Justice asks you to ask yourself, asks you to look at. And I'm going to draw you another card because I feel like this card isn't giving enough information or something. Okay, so the other card you got is Six of Cups. And I like this card a little better. Six of Cups. I like Six of Cups. So to answer your question, will you have children? Six of Cups seems to be leaning more towards yes. Six of Cups is about friendliness and support. It's about accepting help and accepting support from someone else, and also being a source of groundedness and a source of support for that person as well. It's like a relationship that is very healthy. And okay. There's also this symbol when I look at this of this plant pot, and it makes me think of like a womb. And it's like this person is like giving you this gift of life. It's a living plant. So I feel, just looking at this card, that the answer is most likely yes, that you will be a mom if that's what you want and that's, you know, what you would like to bring into your life. But Justice is saying it may not come super fast or super easy. There's still some inner work that you need to do, whether that is addressing some of your inner demons, or just, you know, asking yourself, you know, do I have any doubts? Is there anything that I'm wrestling with? I think addressing those things is going to kind of free up your energy and free up your mind and free up your life in order to, you know, be accepting of this gift. Okay, so I hope that made sense. Okay, so next I'm going to do a reading for Joni E. Thank you, Joni. And you say, how did Jay see me today? Will things pick up? Okay. Justice, really? Okay, I'm going to draw another card, but I'm going to keep Justice. I sigh just because Justice is like the one card I struggle with. Okay, so you got Justice and you got Six of Wands. So let's actually start with Justice. No, let's not start with Justice. Let's start with this one. We'll do Justice after. I should just take the Justice card out of the deck so it doesn't come up. Okay, Six of Wands. Okay, Six of Wands is all about success. And this is an interesting card. This is about people seeing you as successful. And what's interesting is how you see yourself and how others see you can be very, very different. But the first step, I think, in being successful is to first be able to see yourself as successful and think of yourself as being a successful person. Now, when it comes to this person, Jay, I don't know who Jay is, if this is a romantic person or what. I'm guessing it's like a romantic thing. I'm just assuming. And ask yourself, like, how do you want this person to see you? How do you want them to regard you? And is that how you regard yourself? That's an interesting question to contemplate. And, you know, if you want people, or if you want this person to regard you as being, for example, confident and whatever, and awesome, you know, start thinking of yourself in that way. So that's what I get from this card. And you also asked, will things pick up? And I would say yes with the Six of Wands. This is kind of a card of success, so things could pick up. Okay, so let's talk about Justice, which is a harder card to talk about. I feel like this card is asking you, what do you think of Jay? How do you see Jay? How do you see this person? And do you want things to pick up? And if so, in what way? And do you want anything to change? It's kind of asking you to be like this Lady Justice, to kind of look at this relationship in an impartial, kind of unemotional way, as if you don't have anything invested in it, which of course you probably do. But this is about kind of looking at things with a rational, sort of almost a cold lens, being somewhat calculating and looking at things as an outsider might look at things, and really weighing the pros and cons in a what's the word? What's that word when you're like unbiased, weighing the pros and cons in an unbiased way. Okay, so I hope that made sense, Joni. Okay, I'm just gonna have a little peek over at the comments. And one question here is, how do you read objectively for yourself, particularly with love readings? Sometimes it's tricky to read objectively for yourself. There's a few ways. Like, one of my favorite ways is to do a reading and pretend that I'm giving the reading to someone else. So what I will do is I will pretend I'm giving the reading to someone else, and I will record myself reading it. So just record my voice, like I'm giving it to someone else, and then I'll wait a day and then I'll listen back to it. So that's one way to be somewhat objective. But objectivity is tricky. I think it depends on the questions you're asking. So if you're asking a question like, if you're doing a love reading and you're asking, will this relationship work out? And if you really, really want that relationship to work out, then of course that's going to skew the results. But if you ask more open-ended questions like, what do I need to do, or what do I need to know to make this relationship work? Or, sort of more open-ended questions, then you're going to have more success, I think. Okay. Okay, goodbye, Jackie. Thanks for letting me read for you. And okay. Someone asked a really good question. I'm just going to okay. Where is it? Let's see. I'm just going to scroll up. I was reading it and I thought, oh, this is a good one. I want to give this person a reading. The question was, how do I get out of my own way? But I can't remember who asked it. Where was it now? Oh, Dawn. Okay. Dawn Colombo says, how can I get out of my own way? Okay, I like that question. It's going to shuffle my cards. Four of Wands. Okay, I like this card. Okay, so Four of Wands. There's this real energy of celebration, of coming together with others and celebrating something. I feel like one way to get out of your own way is to take a day off, have a day where you can celebrate something and bring that energy, that air of celebration into your day-to-day life. Also connect with others. And this is kind of what I said the first time this card showed up, so I'm going to say it again. I think the more you get out, the more you connect with people and bond with people and chit chat, I think that's going to kind of give you more energy and give you more kind of oomph and pizzazz for your life. It feels like you may need support in whatever it is that you're trying to do. And you could get that through like some kind of support group, or even just starting a group, or even if you already have a group of friends, like something where you get together with other people who are trying to do the same thing or struggling with things, whatever it is. And just so you have that kind of group support, I feel like that is one way for you to get out of your own way. So kind of like being accountable to a group or to another person, and being able to kind of talk about whatever it is that you're struggling with, whatever it is that you're trying to do, being able to talk about it with other people is something that's going to be helpful for you. So don't try to do it all on your own. Okay. And Okay, Anne. Anne says, Kate, can you please pull a card about if I will get to art school? Okay. Yes. And just give me one sec. Okay. So Anne, I'm just shuffling the cards for you. Will you get to art school? Okay, Eight of Swords. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, Eight of Swords. This is an intense card. And it's about perceived obstacles versus real obstacles. So when it comes to going to art school, what obstacle are there any obstacles for starters? What do you think the obstacles are? And keep in mind that often the obstacles that you perceive may not be as solid or as real as you think they are. So the Eight of Swords is really about finding your own power. It's about being your own rescuer. You know, don't wait for anyone to swoop in and give you what you want on a silver platter. This is about going out there and doing it for yourself. So your question, will you get into art school or will you go to art school? I think if you really, really want to go to art school, you can. It may not be easy. It may not be a instantaneous, direct thing that easily happens for you. It's something that's going to take a lot of work. And it does feel like there may be some inner work that you need to do as well in terms of inner work, like looking at your own thoughts and your own beliefs. Like, do you have an overabundance of pessimistic thoughts or negative thoughts? And if so, you might want to start looking at those thoughts and questioning them. And as you question them, you break them down and they lose power over you. And when your negative thoughts lose their power, you become a more powerful agent in your own life. And it can be powerful. Okay, so I hope that made a little bit of sense. And I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom here. Okay, I'm going to give a reading to X Claire Bear. Okay, so Claire Bear, you ask, seeing as I struggle to read for myself in my love life, what do I need to know right now? Okay, to know right now. Let me just shuffle these cards one more time. Okay, so what do you need to know about your love life? Ooh, Judgment. I love this card. I almost wish the Judgment card was called something else because it always throws people off. They think it's about being judgy, but it's not. Okay, so Judgment, this is a major arcana card, and this card is really about listening to your inner calling, listening to your inner voice, your intuition. But I feel like that would kind of apply more to like career or the direction that you're going in. I don't know if it applies so much here. But Judgment is about renewal and rebirth. It's about coming out of one phase and going into another. It's about being almost in transition. I have one deck that depicts this card as a phoenix rising from the flames. So what do you need to know about your love life? I feel like it feels like you've been through a lot of changes, like in the last year or so. And some of these changes may be like obvious physical changes, like a new job or a new place where you're living or whatever. But then there's more changes that are like less obvious. So these would be like inner changes. And to me, it feels like you're going through like a sort of a transformation period right now. And relationships, while you're going through this period of change and growth and transition, relationships can be kind of tricky. And it can feel like relationships are almost kind of flaky, or they're harder to pin down. It's harder to get people to commit. or it's hard to understand people and where they're coming from. And part of that is because you're going through so much change and there's so much flux happening for you. The advice that this card has, it's about being able to like dance to your own tune, walk to your own beat. It's about being able to just really be your unique self and to kind of do your own thing. And it's like when you start to do that, when you start to dance to your own beat and to kind of do your own thing, you become very magnetic and attractive to certain people, usually the right kinds of people. So I don't know if you're single or if you're in a relationship. If you're single, this is about just focusing on just being unique, being your, who you are, and following your inner calling, going with where it is you feel pulled, noticing what you yearn to do, and listening to that inner voice of your intuition. And if you're in a relationship, this is about being gentle with yourself and the other person and recognizing that you're in this time of transition and things are up in the air for you. Things are changing. And on one level, it's really exciting because it's like this time of growth. It's this time of like reinventing yourself and seeing yourself in a whole different light. But sometimes that can wreak havoc on relationships. So just being kind of gentle with yourself, gentle with the other person in the relationship. Okay, I hope that was helpful for you. I know doing love readings for yourself can be a challenge. Okay, so Virgo says, I'm really scared because my exams are coming up and the readings I'm doing for myself don't really make anything clear. Would you be able to tell me how I'll do on your exams? So how do you think you're going to do, Virgo? Like, have you studied? Have you, do you know your stuff? Do you feel confident? I mean, that's one question, because I feel like this is something you do have control over. But I'm going to draw you a card to see what the tarot has to say about this. Okay, so we have the Hierophant. This is interesting because it shows a teacher. This is a yoga teacher and students. So on the one, the first thing that comes to mind when I look at this is that you've been a good student and that you've been, following what you're supposed to do, and you've been, doing the work that's necessary. So that bodes really well. And the other message I get with this card is I feel like it's also about being present, being in the moment. So I get that you're anxious, and I think the more you just focus on the present moment and don't worry about the future, don't think about the upcoming exam. Focus on what you can do now to prepare yourself. That's gonna be the most helpful for you. But just based on this card, I think you're gonna do totally fine with your exams. Just seeing if there's anything else coming up with these cards. Nope. I feel like you're gonna do good. So good luck. So you said you've studied, but you're not really confident in yourself. So yeah, I think you're gonna be fine. You've studied, you've done the work. That's all you can do, right? Okay, so it is 2:15. So I think I'll do maybe 2 or 3 readings, and then I'll call it a day. Oh, this is an interesting question. So Lisa asks, after you read for someone or a group, such as doing these live streams, how do you feel? What do you do to clear your mind? This is a really interesting question because I've noticed that when I read for people in person, so if I'm sitting at a table reading for someone, those readings tend to feel really draining to me. But when I read for someone, like distance-wise, like how I usually do my professional paid readings is people will send me their question or their issue, and then I sit down and I do the reading here in my office, and I record my voice. So I record myself doing the reading, and then I send them the MP3 file. And when I do those readings, I love doing those readings and I feel energized by it, but I can only do 2 a day. So I can't do 3 readings a day. I can only do 2. I find my energy That's the perfect amount for my energy levels. And when I do these live streams, I find them energizing. I mean, I couldn't sit here and read for hours. I start usually like after an hour, I'm like, okay, I think I've had enough. But afterwards, I feel fantastic. I have so much energy. It's like when you go to like a really fun party and you meet lots of people, and it's just really energizing. So yeah, so I don't actually do anything to really like clear my energy after. I don't feel like I need to. But that's a really good question. However, if I was like at like a fair or something where I was reading for people in person, one after the other, oh, that's the worst for me. I would get so drained, and I would have to like go home and like have a, hot bath with crystals or something like that. Okay. All right, so I'll do a couple more readings. Okay, Mimi. So Mimi, you said you sent me a super chat earlier. Oh crap, I totally missed that if you did. I'm so sorry, Mimi. I didn't see it. That's really weird that I didn't see it. Oh, I see it now. Okay. Okay, sorry, Mimi. I don't know how I missed that the first time. All right. So Mimi, you said, what do you see for me in general? Okay. Just going to shuffle my cards. Justice. What? This card again. Okay. So I'm going to draw you another card too, because I really struggle with this one. I'm getting a few things from this card. It feels like I need to put this card down and draw another card and come back to that card. Okay. Ah, beautiful. Okay, so you got the 10 of Pentacles. So 10 of Pentacles is a wonderful card to get. This is a card of being abundant financially, being secure, and also finding work or having work, a job, a career, something like that, that feels very secure, very solid, very stable. It's also about family, making connections. This can be a great card if you're in business for yourself. I often see this card as representing business in the marketplace and being able to negotiate and make deals and things like that. On another level, this is about I'm trying to think of the word, not compromise. I'm trying to think of another word that describes negotiating. So I'll just keep talking. It's not coming to me. I feel like this card is about being able to work things out with someone, whether that is in a workplace environment, in a relationship. This is about bringing things to the table, sitting down, discussing things, negotiating things, striking some kind of a harmonious deal, some kind of a working relationship with another person. And I also get the sense of family that is coming through really strongly in this card. This card is about, family connections and really nurturing those connections and paying attention to that and enjoying family. And this doesn't have to be biological family. This could be just like your neighbors or your friends, the people that you have close connections to. So let's go back to the Justice card. What does she mean when she's next to the 10 of Pentacles? I feel like coming up, or maybe this is something you're dealing with now, you're going to be having some important, maybe even serious discussions with people in your life about things. And it's going to be helpful for you to be like this Lady Justice, to be, they say justice is blind. And what's interesting with her is she has her blindfold on, but it's pulled up a little bit and she has one eye. You probably can't see because my camera's probably not super sharp, but she has one eye peeking out. And this is about how, be impartial, be blind, but not totally, have one eye peeking out, still be, paying attention. And So I think the advice here is that in your negotiations with people, in your discussions, as you're, making agreements, making deals, going back and forth with people, be like Lady Justice. So Justice, what is she like? She's fair. She's the kind of woman who isn't going to take things really personally. She's not going to take things to heart. She's going to be able to look at a situation with a really clear gaze and to be, unbiased. She can really weigh the pros and cons. And she has this law book on her lap. And I feel like this represents kind of doing further research, consulting further sources when it comes to making decisions. Okay, Mimi, so I hope that makes sense for you. If it doesn't make sense for you, let me know. And I'm just gonna shuffle my deck again. Okay, I'm just gonna look at the comments. See what other questions there are. There's so many comments here. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. This is great. I love doing these. I'm going to be doing more YouTube lives. This is actually the very first YouTube live I've ever done. And yeah, this is the first one I've ever done, which is crazy because I've been on YouTube for years, like such a long time. And so it's weird that this is the first one I've done. So I will do many more. Okay, so I'm going to do a reading. I'm going to do 2 more quick readings, and then I'll call it a day. And I'm going to choose there's so many to choose from. I'm having a hard time. Okay, I'm going to go with Kit Ami. Any card for me right now. I just like that you put a little cat in your thing. Okay. So Kit, you got 4 of Pentacles. Okay. So 4 of Pentacles is really encouraging you to don't be afraid to really get outside the box and to share yourself more with others. There's this real holding energy with the 4 of Pentacles. It's like you don't feel that it's safe to open up and really be who you are and share your opinions and your creations with others. So this is really encouraging you to maybe address some of those fears. Like, what are you afraid of? What is it about doing that makes you feel uneasy? And 4 of Pentacles on a more literal note can be about saving money and the need to kind of reel in your spending and start saving your pennies and not to be so reckless. But I think what it really means is that it's time for you to, it's really time for you to be more open with who you are and your ideas, your creativity, all of that I think deserves to be shared. And it's like the world needs your gift. So don't hide away from everyone. Don't be so shy. And what's interesting is I feel like that has been kind of the theme of quite a few of the cards that we've got here. I feel like I've told a few people to, be more open about who they are and to kind of live their lives out loud. So that card is sort of in keeping with today's theme. Okay, so thanks, Kit, for letting me read for you. Okay, so one more reading. Last one. Okay. So I'm going to do a reading for, and this isn't a name, it's AB4N1SG. Okay. Oh, and I'm not sure if you want a reading. You just said, thanks for all the great tarot advice. Oh, thank you for watching. I don't know. Would you like a reading? If you would, let me know. Okay, so I'll do one more reading. And if AB4N1SG would like a reading, let me know. Yeah, you want a reading. Okay, good. I'll draw a card for you. 10 of Swords again. Wow. You know what I've noticed with this reading event, we've been getting a lot of intense cards. We've been getting a lot of 10s. We've been getting just a lot of like really intense cards. So I think that's really interesting. Okay, so 10 of Swords. It feels to me like you feel like you're being held back or held down or limited in some way. And perhaps you're blaming someone else. So this card really asks you to let go of resentment that you have, even if someone has betrayed you or done something bad. Do what you can to explore that issue and to release it as much as you can and let go of any blame, because that blame is what is going to truly hold you back. So while that person or that thing may have held you back or stood in your way for a certain amount of time, it isn't really anymore. And it's more like your resentment towards that thing or that person that is going to suck your energy and hold you back. But there's something else I get with this card, and it's the sun. And I can't tell if it's a sunrise or a sunset. I think it's a sun. Kind of looks like a sunset, but I think it's a sunrise. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this a sunset or a sunrise? It's hard to tell. I feel like the message here is that there's a dawning of a new day. Each day is a new opportunity. Each day is a new opportunity to start fresh, to change your thinking, to try something new, to do something different. And that really is a message with this card, is see each day. Like, I think we often will look at each year as like, oh, it's a new year. You know, I can set goals and stuff like that. But every single day is a new day that you can wake up and choose to do something differently. And I think that that is the powerful message of the 10 of Swords. Okay. Oh, thanks, you guys. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Thanks for all your nice comments. Okay, so before I wrap things up, I just want to remind you that I've got my 4-week tarot course coming up called Reading Tarot for Others. And I'm going to put the link to my course page in the comments here in case anyone is interested. So it's a 4-week tarot course. If anyone has any questions about it, you can ask me. I'd be happy to tell you about it. Okay, I'm just going to put that link in the comments. So it's a 4-week online course, and the whole course is basically for people who want to get really good at giving reading to other people, because reading for yourself and reading for others are two like completely different things. And it took me a long time to get comfortable reading for others. And so I created this course basically so I could share everything that I've learned about that whole process of giving a reading to another person, whether you're doing in-person readings, distance readings, email readings, whatever that might look like for you. So if you want to get super good at giving readings for people, you're going to like my course. The course has you get 4 to 5 new videos and worksheets each week. And then there's a Facebook group that's just for people in the course. And I do Q&As, live Q&As every week in the Facebook group. It's tons of fun. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions about it. Oh, someone asked, can we pay in installments? No, I didn't set up a payment plan this time. I did last year and hardly anyone did it. And it was like a lot of extra work. So I just decided not to this year. So it's so if you want to know what the cost is, it's just under $200 US to do my course. And there's no payment plan this time, but I've had a few people ask, so next year I may offer a payment plan. And I want to say thank you so much, everyone, for being here live with me. This is so lovely, so special. And this is actually a lot. I've done a lot of live events on Facebook, but this is actually more fun because there's more people here. So it's great. So I'll definitely be doing more YouTube lives in the future. Yeah, so thank you so much, everyone. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend and take care. Yeah, I always have a hard time saying goodbye. I never really know when to end these live events. So I will end it right here. Okay, bye.